Hi, my name is Deborah. I'm a senior associate consultant in the Chicago office. I interned at Bain, and for me that summer was really pivotal because it allowed me to confirm two things. The first being that I really enjoyed the work. I found that we were answering really interesting, kind of intellectually stimulating questions for our clients. And then two, I really liked the people that I was doing it with. I loved my colleagues, and I thought this was a place I could see myself growing and thriving post-grad, so I decided to come back and accept the full-time role as well. One case experience that really stands out is a case I did in Lagos. So I actually did a short-term transfer to our Lagos office at the end of my second year as an associate consultant. And for me, that case was really impactful on both a personal and a professional level. Personally, I'm Nigerian, so I really enjoyed the opportunity to go back to Nigeria and to work there in a professional context. And I also took the opportunity to see more of Africa. So I got to go to Kenya, South Africa, Ghana, Togo, and so that was really great from that perspective. And then professionally, it was also a challenge for me. It was a banking client, and this was a large Pan-African bank that has presence in 30 plus sub-Saharan African countries. We were helping them figure out their consumer strategy. So people like you and me who bank with them, how do we best serve our customers? And it was a really great question because it's a big challenge to figure out how do you make a strategy that's all-encompassing and serves customers across that really wide footprint. And so it was just a really great kind of intellectual problem to try and tackle. And the Lagos office was actually pretty recently established when I got there, so it was kind of like working at a startup within the Bain world. So it was a really cool experience from that lens as well. I think the soft skills that I've learned have been a pleasant surprise. So coming in, particularly with someone who has a more quantitative or engineering background, I had expected and really liked our very qualitative approach to problem solving, and I think it's going to be very valuable regardless of what I do in the future. So there's several affinity groups we have at Bain kind of focused on catering to certain different subpopulations of our greater Bain community. So that there's the BABs, Blacks at Bain, LATBA, Latinos at Bain, Be Glad, which is an LGBT group, Veterans at Bain, and then Women at Bain. And for me personally, I've been pretty involved with BABs and WAB, the women's group. And through those affinity groups, I found ways to connect with people who might have similar experiences to myself, so I can create a support system of Bainees that I would maybe interact with, and just solely if I only looked at my case experience. There's been opportunities to get professional development, coaching and training, particularly as we think about, I'm thinking about the women's group, about the issues with women and how they drop off as they go through the work pipeline, so how do we help kind of rectify that situation. So advice I'd give to potential recruits, the first is practice the case interview. I think you probably hear that a lot. I think it's not a very natural format. It's not something you see really much outside of consulting, so just making sure you're comfortable with that format and you understand what's being tested there is always great. And then the second would be to more or less interview the firms. So I think there's a lot of, within consulting firms, there can be a lot of overlap in terms of the type of work that we do and the clients that we serve, but where I think there are some material differences are around the things that the elements that make up the culture of a different firm. So how do they think about professional development of their people? What do they think about in terms of staffing? How do they engage? How do they help their employees engage with the community and those around them? And really getting a sense of how that differs from firm to firm, I think is great to figure out where you think you would fit best and make sure that the firm that you're going to values the same things that you value.